Hello, all you Gare Bears out there and in the universe. We are back once again with another Gare Bear review. Yes, I apologize for the delay. My schedule and other people's schedules have been completely out of whack in the last 2 weeks. But we are back and we are going to continue this adventure, our adventure, I should say, with 300 Rise of an Empire. Yes, so, yes, the sequel of what you probably wanted, I guess. But let's face facts, Frank Miller is an amazing artist. He does amazing work on his comic novels. Now let's start this with, yes, it is a sequel. Yes, it is a prequel. I'm going to put that in quotes. Yes, I know what you're thinking. That sounds crazy, Gary. That's insane. Now, how can that be? Well, I'll tell you, guy who clearly doesn't know things. Yes, it is. It actually works the way it works, basically. It works was the way it works was that the beginning of the story was structured as a prequel to 300, the first one, and the fill-ins, and as well as the fill-ins for 300 as well. But as you watch on, it becomes clearer as the story becomes both. You know, the both it becomes the in between and the aforementioned sequel. Now, which brings me to the man who's behind so many things, Mr. Zack Snyder, who in fact wrote this film. If you don't know this man, he is responsible for directing Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, Watchmen, not to mention the previous installment of this movie. Um, does that have your vote yet? I don't know. Are you going to the theater? Probably no. All right. About the cast. How about a cast now of now I'm saying it's pretty much I'm saying nobody's, but I will definitely say some upcoming, except for the lovely Lena Headey, who doesn't really have her who doesn't love her? I mean, she's a doll, and plus she kicks some serious ass in this film. Unfortunately, it is a very small action of kick-assery. But if you bring in Stapleton, who's not really known yet. I mean, he was in Gangster Squad a few years ago, and then walks in the voluptuous Eva Green. Now she's a dime. She's so beautiful, and yet another beautiful, strong woman kicking some serious ass in this film. I loved her as the villain. She actually gave a great performance. You actually end up loving to hate her. Um, Now, all the characters were good. All the actors portraying them were good. Lena Headey was actually back in her previous role because I believe she was in the first one. If I'm not mistaken, I would definitely check that out. But I'm at least 97% sure that that is the correct storyline. But I didn't really have any complaints about anyone's performance. Now, the story at some points were a little wibbly wobbly. Excuse the Doctor Who reference. I am a fan. But keep in mind that this story is actually multiple stories in one. The reason for the wobbly timeline, again, sorry about the Doctor Who reference, was that so you, the audience, can actually get the full picture of all the facts from the first movie and so on. Now, this is actually what I loved about the movie, about the film. I can't even stress that fact any more than I can. It was actually a huge element in this for the director and the producers to weave in and out the facts throughout the film, to show you what happened to cause basically showing you in 300 why the war got through, why Leonidas did this, why Leonidas did that, what was she doing, what was he doing while Leonidas was fighting off the Persians. It was actually a really great aspect of the film. It was actually it was genius, which is why I'm actually recommending this film, because you can actually see this without even seeing the first installment. Although I don't really recommend you do that. I do recommend you see the first one because the first one was actually really good. It's the same as it's pretty much the same aspect as this. Although, like I said, although I personally rather have a constructed backstory, so I actually saw both. I actually saw. I also saw that you guys, you gotta make sure that you actually see both. At least in my mind, I see a lot of movies, so I end up seeing pretty much every prequel or sequel known to man. Um, But I also saw that you guys like my channel, so make sure you guys select subscribe to this. I'm sorry for this short review, but I'm on a time constraint here. But select subscribe to my channel. You can do that in the description below. To it, but make sure you guys keep the lights on, because it's time to get things started. Because it's the Muppets. Yes, we're going back to the Muppets Most Wanted movie with our very special guest, the Gare Bear. Ah! So stay tuned for that.